Hey, hello, what's going on? This is Andy, the Prince of Shanghai. And as many of you know that I am a big fan of the Japanese airlines. And one of their best is the ANA, All Nippon Airway. It is always my best choice when I go to China. Uh, I will be connecting the flight in Tokyo Haneda Airport. And I'm flying out of JFK, New York City. And this is gonna be a red eye flight. So the flight will be 2 o'clock, and now it's just 2 hours before the takeoff time. And so I still have a lot of extra time before I go to the security checkpoint. And tonight is actually pretty comfortable. It's it's very chilling here, and the weather is just comfortable. And I think it's the best time of the day to actually take a flight. And then Terminal 7 here is quite nice. They're never congested. I don't know about the daytime, but most of the time at night, it's pretty quiet. And I really like it. So, and okay, so I'm gonna take a little break before I go in. So I'll see you a little bit. Okay, now I just came through the security checkpoint. So now inside here is pretty damn empty. So all restaurants and shops are closed. So it's midnight right now. And my flight is not until 2 o'clock, and the boarding time is 1:30. So I still have an hour and 30 minutes to before boarding. So all of these restaurants are closed. All duty-free shops are closed. So there's nothing really to do besides hanging out here in the boarding area.
And finally, we get to board the plane at 1:30. And they actually separate the aisle seats to another single group, which will be boarding the plane at the last, and having the window seats and the middle seats board the plane first before the aisle seats passengers, and which I think is a really good strategy. So that will facilitate the boarding process. It makes it a lot easier for everyone to board the plane. And I got a aisle seats since I'm traveling alone this time. And my seat is actually very close to the galley and the lavatories. So it's kind of easier for me to get up in the middle of the plane and kind of either go to the lavatories or stretch out. And actually today is my lucky day. There's nobody in the middle seats. So it's just me and a person at the window seat. And I'm very glad. That will set off a lot of stress off me. And I also brought my own slippers that I got from the last time I traveled ANA business class. And one thing that ANA offers that other airlines don't have is this foot rest that allows me to put my feet on it throughout the entire trip, which is really relaxing. And just 1 hour into the flight, the first meal was being served. And I got this chicken over fried noodles with veggies and the salads and yogurt, and it's quite delicious. And the entertaining system is another privilege you can have on a long haul flight and watch a couple of movies, and you're already halfway there. And just about 2 hours before we landed in Japan, the second meal was being served. And it is actually a breakfast menu. And you get to choose, there's like two different type of cuisine. One is more like the Western, the other one is the Japanese. I picked the one with chicken over rice. And here you go. We're about to land in Japan. And this is just 20 minutes before the landing. And from the camera, you can actually see the entire runway that is up front. And I have to say, the captain's skill, the landing skill, is quite impressive. It's really smooth, and you don't really feel nothing. And you already landed. That's quite amazing. And welcome to Japan. It's 5 o'clock local time here in Tokyo, and we're just actually landed. And when we coming out of the terminal, and the food court is right next to it, and there's really empty. There's nobody here at this time, except that there's a few restaurants or stores to open, and there's people that prepping breakfast. And some of the restaurants already ready to serving people. And Japanese food is delicious. Yeah, I would consider it most delicious food on the planet, especially their ramen. And if you're hungry, and this will be the great time to grab some ramen noodles and authentic delicious Japanese ramen. Makes me hungry just by looking at it, even though I just had a meal on the airplane. And by walking around the rest of the terminals, I will have to say the Japanese, they are really good at cleaning and organizing things. And when it comes to planning, organizing, and cleaning, the Japanese, they're the champion. They've done it, I would say, better than most countries in the world. And it's just part of their culture. You know, it's really amazing. There's something I would say the rest of the countries should really look up to, and they're very attention to details. They take their job seriously, and they work tirelessly, to get things done. And this is the kind of culture that I really look up to. And this right here is the Power Lounge. And it is at Terminal 2 and just one floor below the A&A Lounge. And all you need is an American Express credit card priority pass. And once you register to the membership, and you allowed to access all these lounges at all major airports free of charge. And before I get to my connecting flight to Shanghai, I will still have to spend 4.5 hours in this lounge so I can get some food, some snacks and drinks, and charge my phones, before I get to my connecting flight. And here comes the Terminal 66, which is going to be my flight to Shanghai to Hongqiao Airport. And the airplane to Shanghai is actually a Dreamliner, and their economy seats. Actually, I had an economy seats, but at the last minute, I was to able to change my seats to this premium economy seats right next to the engine, and that is really really exciting, and beautiful, nice Rolls-Royce engine on this Boeing, 737, Dreamliner. It's a great aircraft, and I really enjoy, sits right next to the big ass engine, and I love engine, the speed, the velocities, and it's just exciting to sit right next to it. As a guy that loves cars, and the flight time from Haneda Airport to Hongqiao Airport is roughly 2 hours and 45 minutes. And historically, there has been a lot of cultural and business exchange between these two cities, from Shanghai to Tokyo. And there are many Japanese companies that settle in Shanghai. And they also brought their families, their kids go to school in Shanghai. So this route has been the most popular route in Asia for the last 40 years, since the 1980s. And a little while after the meal, we're finally landing at Shanghai Hongqiao Airport at 12:15 local time. And here comes to the end of my trip. And I have to say, for the most part, this trip has been very amazing and enjoyable. I would recommend anyone coming from the US to China to take ANA to get the best flying experience possible for your trip. And I hope you like my video. Please subscribe, comment, and click the like button. And I'll see you again in the next video. Bye.